Friends, family, fans, episode 92. 92 episodes of goddamn Back Nine Bets. I want to say thank you to every single one of you who has followed along on this journey. There have been guys from the beginning. There have been guys who have just joined, and that is totally cool. We're growing as a little baby community. 92 episodes. We are rocking and rolling. Houston, we have problems at the golf tournament. Back Nine Bets don't have problems. We've got 92 episodes. We've got all the subscribers flowing in nice and fast. I appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to hit the like button, all that jazz while you're here. We're kind of taking it easy today. Don't have a lot of bets. This is a weird tournament. I'm going to go heavy on a few guys and just see where it goes. That's just kind of how we're going to rock and roll today. Got two outrights. Scotty Scheffler's in the field. He's plus 265 to win the tournament. What's that about? We can chat about that. We don't have to. We'll see. I don't know what to make of that. The guy's just playing incredible golf, but we'll get exposure to him one way or another. His number has moved significantly. We're at the Texas Children's Houston Open, which is played at Memorial Park Golf Course. Tricky golf course. They've changed the time of the year, so we've got some interesting stuff. What's up, Criminal, my China? How's it, Booty? Appreciate you, as always, being in the house here, chatting it up. We're playing at the Houston Open down in Texas. We're away from Florida. We've got through that swing. We've seen who played well there. We've seen who's played badly. Steven Yeager's bit our ass multiple times. So we'll see what cooks, but hopefully we can find a few good bets here. Matchups have been interesting. They haven't showed up at the books recently to find them, so we'll see what goes on there. I'm kind of waffling. It's been one of those weeks, as you can tell. Like, I'll just start off with the back end portion of the show early because I've been a little under the weather mentally lately. Haven't done 2 Sunday night research streams. Missed out on all the showdown last week. I don't know what the deal is. I think I'm mentally trying to subconsciously try and recharge before the Masters so I can have some energy, but it's kind of getting me down a bit. So I've just been dealing with and moving on, just trying to figure it out like we do in life. So don't stress if things are going badly. Don't stress if your dog's moaning because you forgot to feed her food before the podcast. So now she's got to deal with no food for the next 30 to 45 minutes. That's tough scenes. You could be Phoebe. You could not be Phoebe. You could be getting fed on time every day. But just want to put that out there. Like, we all have our struggles. We all get through them. We can feel like we're on the other side of this hump. We're going to get through it. So just putting that out there, rocking the hoodie, rocking the beard. We're just going chill today. Chill city. So let's chat about the Houston Open. If you take a look at the key stats for this golf course, they've only played here 3 times, so there's not a lot to go off of. But if you take a look at what they've been up to, let's hide these 2 columns so tie these things up a little bit for us and dive a little further in there. So off the tee, not necessarily as important as to our average. It kind of goes down a bit, but we've only got 3 years worth of data, remember? So that's not going to change. That's a wildly specific example. What did I say? What do you mean? In reference to what? TDAC. Approach play is going to be important. The usual around the green play in 2021 was very important, apparently. So we'll see what happens when that comes around. That seems like that was almost a typo from above. Let me make sure that is actually correct. Let me pull that up right now and just make sure, because that is incorrect in my opinion. What was that? 2021? 2021, the correlation for around the green play was 612. Wow. That's the same as basically approach play. That was crazy. What was the deal here? Pretty much Carlos Ortiz chipped his face off around the greens. Dustin Johnson as well. Hideki, Taylor Gooch, Jason Day, all chipped. I mean, everyone inside the top 10 had pretty much chipped their way into the tournament. I mean, gee whiz, there's only 3 guys outside the top 20 that didn't have positive strokes gained around the green in 2021. Interesting stuff. Very random, but that's the case. Oh, the dog. Yeah, well, she's moaning at me from the front here. She's needy beady. Then when you come to the what you may call it, the proximity buckets over here, We got a few from 125 to 150, but it typically kind of hits this 150 to 225 range pretty hard, from what I can tell. So that's what you want to look at for proximity numbers this week and go from there. The model has slowed up. We are going to be struggling here. It is what it is. It's one of these weeks. It's just taking a chill pull with us. We're going to take an easy peasy ride down the model here and chat about some guys. So that's the situation. We're looking for good ball strikers. We're looking for guys who can scramble around the green. If you can putt on these greens, these Poa Trivialis, I found out like this year, there's a difference between Poa Trivialis and Poa Nua. The Poa that's in California and Poa that's on these random greens, not the same Poa. So that's fun fact there. So our first bet, and the guy that's number one in the model, is Scotty Scheffler. Let's bet him at minus 230 for a top 10. It's one of the worst numbers we'll see on him. There's value on that number still, believe it or not. 9 points of value. He's finishing inside the top 10 at a 79% clip the last 12 months. That's insane. And minus 230 implies a 70% implied probability. So there's a 9% edge there. I don't really have too many other placement bets, so I'm okay hitching my wagon to Scotty. As you can see, his top 10 return on investment has been $904 the last 12 months. So he's returning you it just keeps turning over. Just keeps turning over. Minus 230 is steep. I think Scotty is now minus odds for the third time in his career. I think the other two times was the Open Championship and Charles Schwab Championship, where he was negative odds for top 5, which is crazy to think about for Scotty Scheffler. So this week, he's negative odds again. I think he's negative 120. Let's take a quick peek here, actually, at what his odds are for all top 5. Negative 143. So if you do that, negative 143, that's an implied odds of 59%, and he's doing it 63% of the time. So a smaller edge. We like our bigger edge there on the top 10. It's also his more profitable market. We don't mind going to Scotty Scheffler at minus 230 for a top 10. The guy's on autopilot right now, ball striking. If you take a look at all these pink boxes, I mean, geez, like it. The putting is coming together for this year. 2024 means it's actually, this year's stats since the beginning of the year. The putting is moving in the right direction. The rest of the game is just insanely good. So good. We're going to move this out here. We don't necessarily need that this week. Although I did change it to larger than $7,200, 7,200 yards. So that's where we're going with the off the tee there. On long golf courses, his off the tee stuff is nuts. His off the tee stuff is nuts in general. His weighted strokes gained is number one in the field. Second in graded regulation rates from a weighted perspective. He doesn't hit a lot of good shots. We've known this about Scotty Scheffler. Doesn't hit a lot of good shots, but he definitely likes to hit not bad shots. He avoids the poor shots very, very well. And that's the thing with Scotty Scheffler. Who the hell does it better than him? Why? Who's this? Sam Bennett. Oh, so that's hardly any data. So yeah, Scotty's the best at avoiding poor shots. That's not a surprise at all. He's pretty darn good out the rough when it comes to taking care of business there with the wedges. The long irons out the rough, he doesn't hit that many good shots, and his strokes gain actually goes down quite a lot. So if the stories are true that the rough is down this week, we're in shape for some better scoring. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not entirely sure what to expect from all of that, but we'll see what goes on. Looks like I forgot to update something. Let's see. Maybe we can do it live on the show. Let's go find round by round. Where is round by round? Round by round. Boom. Let's hit a refresh here on the show and just completely nuke our entire okay. Boom. So it's not open. It is what it is. Let's go back here. I'm all over the place, ADDing our way through the show as always. Okay, so that's Scotty Scheffler. We know exactly what his situation is. Scotty's the guy. Top 10s are at a 79% clip. It's saying that he's going to do it at a 70% clip. We got a 9% edge. Bam. Rock and roll. Then we're going to go to Wyndham Clark. We wanted to bet Wyndham Clark for a top 5 because we couldn't quite get him at 12-1 to win the tournament. I might just bet Wyndham Clark to finish second to Scotty Scheffler at 40-1. even though that's not the best odds. I just feel like that's probably going to happen for a third time in a month. We'll have to wait and see. But when you want to bet Wyndham Clark, you want to bet him for top fives. He finishes inside the top 5 as much as he does the top 10 in the last 18 events. And he finishes inside the top 5 only 11% less than top 20. So he's inside the top 5 on repeat, essentially. At plus 350, it's selling as 22% implied odds. He does it 28% of the time. Boom, let's rock and roll. Wyndham Clark, top 5, plus 350. That's where we're going there. That gets paid ties out in full. Let's see what Wyndham Clark can get up to. Will Zalatoris is minus 110 for a top 20. That's actually not the worst number in the world. I know Pat and Sia are both fans of that this week. We'll have to see. I don't know. Willie Z at this golf course, minus 110 makes a ton of sense to me. I don't mind actually going there in that department at all either. He's playing good golf, and this golf course kind of suits him. Now, if the course loosens up a little bit, plays a bit more easy, I'm not entirely sure how excited I am about Will Zalatoris. I think I saw FanDuel drop the odds at plus 266 for the over-under for total strokes this week, which means that's 14 under par, if I'm correct in thinking that. So that's what's going on with FanDuel's props. We cashed that over 268 last week, or 266 last week, which was good. We kind of expected the weather to take care of business for us, and it did. So Will Zalatoris, we're not going to bet him top 20 because we bet him top 10 or top 5 already. I believe I've bet him at top 5 for plus 375. Or if you just bet him for a each way, you get, I think, 5-1 odds for an each way on Willie Z. So that's where we did that. And I think that's how to go with it. We did the same for Sahith. So we're going to rock and roll with Willie Z for a winner at 20-1. He's been playing amazing golf. If you take a look at what Will Zalatoris has been up to the last little while, it has been nothing shy of sensational golf. I mean, he's come back from his injury and played amazing golf at the golf courses that matter. Missed the cut at the Players. It is what it is. It was the short game that let him down a bit. Whatever. Let's go back to golf courses that have a bit more test to the ball striking demands outside of water. Arnold Palmer Invitational, the Genesis Invitational, Farmers, 4th, 2nd, and 13th at those 3 events leading up to the Players Championship. I think this golf course suits him a lot better than the Players once more. At 20-1, he's just begging for a win right now. The guy looks like he wants to win golf tournaments. When he has been in the mix, he's at least shown some backbone, unlike the likes of, we won't go down that negativity road. You know, we don't want to hurt the feelings of fans of Xander, Justin Thomas, Keith Mitchell, and the likes. We don't want to mention those names on the show about not taking care of business when it matters. Tough scenes for JT and for freaking Keith Mitchell. Wow. Just you go into Sunday with a 2-shot lead and finish 17th. Yikes. Anyway, we would have saw that coming. So Will Zalatoris has been playing good golf. He's so good out the rough. He's so good when it comes to hitting good golf shots from 150 to 200. With a wedge in his hand, he's not typically the best. That's not that big of a deal this week. He's pretty darn good when it comes to coming out the rough. The good shot rate, not necessarily as good as we'd like, but he still gains a decent amount out the rough, and that's typically how he does his thing. He's super good at avoiding the fairway issues. He's good at hitting the fairways on these longer courses. 8th in the field in strokes gained on longer golf courses. Let's see what he can do at this venue. It's a long golf course. It's like 7,400 yards, par 70, 5 par 3s, random, or what that was last week. So it's two par 5s only this week. Lots of interesting stuff going on. So we love Willie Z at this golf course. If he wins this week, he wins this week. If he doesn't, he's going to win at Augusta. I think he's trending in the right direction. Holy cow. I mean, if you take a look at the comp courses, I put in comp courses for Olympia Field, Silverado Resort, North Course, shout out to Thagala, Bay Hill, and Riviera Country Club. Those are the simplest comp courses in my opinion. We'll see how it goes with him in that role. We love what he can do on these bigger courses that require longer irons and good driving and low scoring. That's Will Zalatoris' profile. We bet him at each way, I believe, as well, for that, or a top 5, whichever one you want to do. Go ahead and do that. Seth Theegala's next up in the model, right after Will Zalatoris. His upside rank, you don't typically see Sahith this far up on my models. His inconsistency doesn't quite allow him to get his stuff up there. So far, he's been playing nicely. I mean, if you take a look at what Sahith's been up to the last little while, he's been rattling off some really good finishes, folks. Like Sahith Theegala has been amazing. In his last 5 starts, he got a top 20, a 5th, a 6th, and a 9th. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Make it the last 7 starts. We got a 2nd place finish. So this year we've got a 2nd, a 5th, a 6th, and a 9th. And the 9th place came at the Players. Awesome stuff. The approach play seems to be coming and going, hot and cold, in and out, Katy Perry-esque. The driving ability has been amazing. Outside of Pebble Beach, Sahith Theegala has not lost strokes off the tee. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7 of those he lost at Pebble. All good. So the driver seems to be right back on track. In fact, the last 4 times he's played, he's barely lost strokes off accuracy. He's actually been very good when it comes to the distance side of things. So this golf course suits him quite nicely. I love what he can get up to here. The comp courses fit him nicely too. He's playing amazing golf right now. He's so good at hitting good shots from 200 yards and out. He's a very good long iron player. If you take a look at the long irons needed this week, we're going to see a decent chunk comes from this range. A decent chunk. So just bearing that in mind, you're going to see a casual third of shots coming from 200 and out this week. So that's where we're going to get all that yardage from. See what he can get up to. I'm excited to see what Seth can do in Houston. I don't mind him staring down Scotty Scheffler down the stretch. Let's see him eat him up. I think Seth has got the nuts to hang tight with him. The putting has been amazing. He's putting so well right now, and that's what you need to win tournaments, especially when his irons seem to be moving in the right direction. So Sahith's playing good golf. He's playing such good golf. In fact, we also bet him, I think, for a top 20 at plus 125. Those odds are too delightful to not play. He does that at a 46% clip or so, top 20ing in the last 24 events, and that implies a 44% rate of return on a plus 125 bet. So we got a 1.5 point edge there. So we'll definitely be playing that. What's up, AK? Yes, on Sahith, bro. Let's go. I love him too. I would be so disappointed if I wasn't on his next win. I missed it at the 40 net. I've been close with him at the Players. I was close with him at the Sony. I was close with him at the Farmers, or the Waste Management, sorry. He's been knocking on the door. So Sahith for a top 5 each way as well, and for a top 20. We're going to be going heavy on him and Will Zalatoris this week. And then we're going to take it easy. But we're going to place one more bet in the top 20 market. That's Tom Hoge. If you take a look at what he's been up to the last little while, things have been looking really good for Hoge. He's had a few rough starts here and there, but prior to the Florida swing, we saw some really good golf from Hoge. We had multiple top 20 finishes to start the year. I mean, the guy has been finishing inside the top 20 5 times to start the year. We've played in about 10 starts. So about half the time he's finishing inside the top 20. I understand around the green play is very important this week. Tom Hoge has been okay around the greens. He hasn't been very good at all, actually. Has hardly gained, but also hardly loses. He just kind of does his thing. The approach play has been amazing. About as good as Scotty Scheffler off approach. As you can see at Tom Hoge, the model doesn't even want to work on us right now. That's fine. It's okay. But you can see us second in the field in approach play for the year, and that's by a fraction of a margin. Hoagie's just been dialed in on approach right behind Scotty Scheffler. So if you can expect that to show up again this week, a top 20 is definitely on the cards at plus 180. He does that at about a 30% clip. Plus 180 is implying an 36% probability. Taking a baby whack there, but this is still fine. I think, just based off what he's been up to this year, the top 20 rate has been amazing. So give me less water, give me more Texas again. Hopefully Hoagie can keep it rocking and rolling for us. He's been making cuts. He hasn't missed a cut he missed a cut to Sony, and that's it. So there's a lot to like about Tom Hoagie. Plus 180 for a top 20. Let's boogie and do that. Got to spend some of that Malnati live outright money, baby. Oh, yes. Congrats on that, man. What a crazy situation. What a crazy situation, Peter Malnati winning. And we were like noting that Peter Malnati was moving in the right direction. He's usually a West Coast guy, but I guess the East Coast was good to him, along with Cam Young. Okie dokie. Moving along. Steven Yeager plus minus 150 for a top 40 is exactly where we're going to be going here. Minus 150 for a top 40. Steven Yeager is it. He's doing a top 40 at a 56% clip. We have seen I need to update some stuff here still. Shucks. But he's dominating the top 20 market as well as the top 40 market. He just makes top 40s like crazy. 56% of the time he's finishing inside the top 40. So we are going to go there with Steven Yeager. If you take a look at what Yeager's been up to the last little while, the driver is exceptionally good right now. 11th in the field, strokes gained off the tee. He's been very, very handy with the driver. So Steven Yeager, if you take a look at what he's been up to with that, he's pretty much gained with the driver in 4 consecutive starts since the Mexico Open. We saw him snap hook 1 or 2 into the bushes at the Farmers, which didn't help his measures to gain strokes, but it's been good golf. He's had a few rough starts in Florida on the greens. Maybe, we get away from these Bermuda surfaces and see a bit more Texas grass growing on them. Maybe old Yeager can get the putter back to functioning because it's cost us quite significantly this year. If the putter can show up, we're in business because he's tidy around the greens. He's decent on approach. He's very good out the rough from 150 and out. If you take a look at what's going on. Mother of God, love the thumbnail. Yes, baby. Sahith Theegala. Let's actually take a second to appreciate it. Take a look here. Here's my Photoshop of it. I mean, we've got Photoshop open while we're streaming, which is a no-no. But I mean, look at this bad boy. He's so good. And all I added to this photo was just the sunglasses. The rest is all there. I mean, Sahith Theegala as a Super Trooper would be an epic movie. I think that would be so much fun. So let's chat about Yeager. The ball striking has been amazing. Solid on these longer courses. Obviously, he drives it so well. But take a look at the strokes gained from 150 and out the rough. Third in the field. Green regulations from 150 and out the rough. First in the field. He's so good out the rough on these long courses. So he's actually very bad when it comes to wedges, which is insane to think about. So we love Yeager at these longer courses. From 150 to 200, he's 7th in poor shot avoidance. That's good to see. So there's a lot to like about this guy. Top 40, he can ball strike his way all the way up there. Hopefully, the whatchamacallit has figured itself out, the putter. And then he can play some good golf. So he had a mustache, Darbo, but it was undercover because he's always had that big old beard. And then he shaved the beard and left the stash. That's the best part about a full beard is the stash is always there, ready to rock and roll. Every now and then I'll just have, the handlebars, just shave down here, shave over here, and you got some mean handlebars just all of a sudden, which is the way to go. So he had the stash out there at, I think it was the Farmers. So, yeah. The stash can show up, man. It's undercover. You don't realize it's there amidst the beard until it is. So bear that in mind. But Steven Yeager, we'll hopefully see him bounce back at minus 150, pushing the limits here a little bit, hoping for a return on better golf coming soon from Yeager. See what he can do. Scooting on down. Doug Ghim is where we are. Plus 225 for a top 20. Doug Ghim, 38% top 20 rate, only a 4% top 10 rate. One of the biggest drop-offs in top 10 rates to the top 20 rate that you'll see. It's incredible. You won't. I should probably do a similar situation where I do top 20 and top 10, to kind of keep an. Should I? I don't know what I'm doing, but should we just do live Excel stuff here as we go? Please don't break. We'll see who's got the biggest ratio or the smallest ratio from top 10s to top 20s, because I think that's really important to distinguish between the two. But in the meantime, I mean, as you can see, Doug Gim would have lost you money in the top 10, top 5, and outright markets, would have returned you $445 in the top 20 market. It's just the craziest situation. So we're going back to him in the top 20 at plus 225. Missed the top 20 last week, I believe, at the Valspar. It is what it is. You can't win them all. But we're just going to keep going back to him. He's hitting the ball so well. His ball striking's been amazing. This kind of a golf course kind of suits how he goes around plotting. So let's do top 20 divided by top 10. And let's see what Scotty Scheffler's ratio is. It's going to be a pretty darn high one. 113%. No, we want it the other way around. We want top 10 divided by top 20. There we go. Okay, let's do this. Fiddle with a few formulas. Yeah, quickly, just because, we can. This is Back Nine Bets. I am the Model Maniac. I can do what I want. So Scotty Scheffler, 88% of the time he's finishing inside the top 20, is also a top 10. Insane. If we filter down on this bad boy, Davis Thompson, 0% of the time he's finishing inside the top 20 is at a top 10. Doesn't have any top 10s. So we can, let's filter on this and see. So we can filter on the worst, and then we can do guys with top 20 rates above, let's go 20%. Just to see what happens. And here we are. So let's do guys with over 10 starts as well, or at least 8. And then we go. All right, so Ben Silverman hasn't finished inside the top 10 yet, but in 8 starts, he's got 38% of the time he's finished inside the top 20. Doug Gim, outside of Victor Perez, guys that actually have a decent amount of starts. Doug Gim is only doing it 10% of the time. That's bad. Like 10% of his top 20s are top 10s only. That's atrocious. That's so bad. It's 10%. Next worst is Grayson Sig. And then we get to guys like 25%, which is pretty common. Tom Hoagie has been pretty poor with the top 10s, but amazing with the top 20s. What are we doing? But 10% is very bad. It's the worst of people with at least 10 starts in this event. So yikes, that have at least a 20% rate for top 20s. So not good from Doug Gim. That's why we're going to keep betting him for top 20s. Don't even throw your money at a top 10 or top 5 with him. The upside is not there. It's just simply not. So fun fact about Doug Gim. We went on a little mini tangent. It is what it is. So that's Doug Gim for you. We're going to be going back to him for a top 20 at plus 225. Then we're going to be playing Mark Hubbard for a top 40 at plus 120, the 3% edge in that regard. Hubbard has finished inside the top 40, 48% of the time. It's telling us it's going to be 45. Let's do that. Hubbard's irons have been amazing. At least recently, they have. So we'll see what he can do at this golf course. I'm not entirely sure. He's pretty solid out the rough for some reason, which is good to see. We'll see a lot more guys out the rough on such a long golf course. I don't know if he can handle the length, but hopefully he can handle the heat of a top 40 and go from there. So that's what we're doing with Mark Hubbard. Then we're going to move on, and I think that's going to be it, folks. I think that's going to be it for me. That is going to be it. Some other bets that we placed was Alex Noren, top Nordic golfer, at plus 160. That's a very random bet that you can find at FanDuel. And then we'll be looking up some other hole-by-hole stuff. But that's it for me. That's basically it. We don't have a lot going on. We're taking it easy this week. Scotty Scheffler, top 10, minus 230. Wyndham Clark, top 5, plus 350. Will Zalatoris, top 20, minus 110. Will Zalatoris, top 5, If you can get the each way on the outright at 20-1, do that. If not, just grab Willie Z, top 5 and to win. And then say hit the gala, top 20 at plus 125, top 5, including the each way for your outright there at 22-1. Tom Hoagie, plus 180 for a top 20. Steven Yeager, minus 150 for a top 40. Doug Gim, plus 225 for a top 20. And Mark Hubbard, plus 120 for a top 40. Those are our guys. That's where we will be going. The matchups are tough to figure out what's going on right now. We'll wait and see. This is going to be the shortest Back Nine Bets episode ever. So we're going to keep it to 30 minutes. I don't like it, but, I wasn't necessarily feeling it as much this week. I'm not feeling amazing nasally right now either, but we went through it. We managed to get through there and dig deep. We're going to get into some good mental space here at the end of the day. End of the week, we're going to get it figured out. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's have a week. Let's have a good one. Let's figure it out. Let's not have any problems with Scotty Scheffler. He's just going to finish top 10 and we cash out 2 outrights. That's just basically how it's going to be. If those 2 guys can finish top 5, then we're looking good as well. It's going to be a good week. It's going to be a good week. I think I'm also just going to lean into smaller contests this week and really kind of just piece together a few DFS contests that are mainly Wyndham Clark, Will Zalatoris at the gala. I'm going to leave Scotty alone this week and tempt fate in that department, particularly in smaller tournaments, contest sizes. So thanks, Matt. Thanks for tuning in, my man. We'll bring it back. We're going to do Sunday stream, I promise, on Sunday for the Valero. I'm kind of contemplating if I want to do like an early Masters research stream. I know people are big into the Masters. They'll probably appreciate a Masters preview more than the Valero anyway. But what we'll do is we'll preview the Valero on Sunday night. Maybe I'll do a Masters stream on Friday or something. I know people are a big fan of that, but maybe once the Valero starts, I'll do the Masters stream maybe that Thursday night or something, or that Friday night or that weekend. I don't know. I know people are into the Masters, so maybe I'll do more, but I don't know. Can you tell I don't know? Anyway, so use code Maniac for 10% off. As always, the show's brought to you by rotoballer.com. Thank you all for being in the chat. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe as you leave the building. Walking, please do not run. We don't want anyone to hurt themselves as they leave the Back Nine Bets premises. We'll see you guys on Sunday night for the research stream for the Valero. If there's a Masters research stream that happens before that, I will let you know, but it might be Friday. So keep an eye out for that. We will see you then.